Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. Hope everybody's doing well. Wait, I believe everyone's doing well, and I have faith that everyone's doing well, and everything is just unfolding perfectly. Wow, I feel great. Today is another amazing show. I'm so excited, and you know why I'm excited? Because I always enjoy engaging in a dialogue with people from around the world. Today is no exception. It's just amazing. And today on the show, we have Charity Golden. And before she tells you anything, listen up. I'm going to tell you a little something about her. Then we're going to get right into it. So, Charity Golden is a certified magnetic mind coach trained in the rapid recode process and magnetic mind method. She helps midlifers go from crisis to crushing it. Her clients come to her overwhelmed, unfulfilled, without direction and purpose, and wanting change. She guides them with scientifically backed processes that allow the subconscious to release the patterns and programming keeping them stuck. She is a walking testimony to the work as she started out as a client herself. Since taking the program, she has transcended her abusive relationship patterns, transcended her addiction issues and disability too. She says, I stopped destroying myself and started my own business. I now live free and know a love for myself I had never known. Very powerful. How are you doing today, Charity?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you. Thank you
Wow,
for having me.
absolutely amazing. You are very welcome and thank you for being here. Let's just get right into it. So,
Okay.
I just want to know how it started that you became a certified magnetic mind coach, trained in rapid recode process and magnetic mind method. I mean, I've never heard it like this. I've only heard, coaches, life coaches, transformational coach, but tell us a little bit more about this magnetic mind coach. It sounds amazing. I'm intrigued. I'm interested in how you got there.
Well, how I got there was a long story from childhood.
Okay.
So I mean, it's a long story, but it ends up in that coaching, in the coaching. The coaching, it changed everything for me. But I was caught in patterns of my childhood was filled with dysfunction, abuse, every kind of abuse,
Right.
and addiction and and I took those patterns into my own adult life, and I took all of those stories into my own adult life as my own, and I kept repeating them. So I was in and out of psych units, tried to kill myself so many times,
Wow.
and I had abusive marriages. I was repeating the patterns that I saw in my childhood. you know I had addiction issues, I had abuse patterns, and I didn't know how to stop them, right? And then so I ended up, after my second abusive marriage that almost killed me, I had a stroke, my brain broke, and I really got to a point where, and that's actually what was the impetus for me to get help. Um, I even faced jail. I've been in jail. In my marriage, I had 8 felonies facing me.
Wow.
I mean, a lot of people, and that's something, right? You're in jail, you don't know if you're going to get out, and the charges have been dropped. I was seen as the victim of domestic violence, and a lot, and that's something that I share a lot too, because so many people that are in those kinds of situations don't even
Right.
believe their own truth.
Right.
They don't believe themselves. And it took me a long time to believe my truth. And then when I did believe my truth, I did get help, and I went into a 12-step program. My first experience was the impetus for me to leave that abusive marriage was actually going to a meeting with women who I saw that had been broken,
Right.
had been through the trials that I'd been through, but they were laughing, they were free, they were having fun. They had community. They had friendship. They had all the things that I didn't have. And that was enough. I mean, I was broken down. I was crying. I was shaking every meeting, that I first came to them. And I was like, I want what you have. And the funny thing is that that's what I said about the drugs and alcohol. I want what you have, that high, that escape. But I saw these women who were thriving, and I was like, I want what you have. And that was the first step towards me finding freedom. And so I went into the program full force. I dove in head first. I was sober. I was in recovery for several years. I was a sponsor. I helped people, and a lot of people helped me. But there came a point I was still in and out of psych units. I was
Right.
still, I still wasn't free. And I follow a lot of people. I follow Abraham Hicks, Joe Dispenza, and William Whitecloud. And I was following these people, and there came a point where I found this program, and really the advertisement that you usually click through, I listened. And it was Christopher Duncan talking about the magnetic mind process and the magnetic mind method. And he was doing he was doing it on some people. He was basically doing a trial. And I felt a shift in that moment. I felt a shift. And so I was like, I got to see what this is about. So I bought.
Okay, we're back. I'm here with Charity Golden, and I just asked her how she became who she is today, being an amazing coach, working with the subconscious mind and everything like that. So she was going through her amazing, extraordinary story that a lot of extraordinary people, it excites me that we know today have been through the deepest depths of just adversities and just things that has happened in their lives to help propel them to where they are. And it's just amazing how that works like that. So Charity, if you don't mind continuing your amazing story.
Absolutely. So I found this, I stumbled across this advertisement, and Christopher Duncan was showing a recode, a magnetic mind recode, rapid recode process. And it says, don't do it. Don't do it yourself at home. It's not going to work. But it worked. It worked for me. So I signed up. I became a client. I took the master class, and it changed everything for me, because up to that point, I mean, I've been disabled. Had a stroke. I had been in abusive marriages. I had had trauma. I mean, I had been, I don't want to trigger people, but I've
Right,
been through abuse,
right,
and I experienced, I mean, I think I take every opportunity to say the things that really happened, because I think the more people that hear it, it resonates with people, because I mean, I experienced rape as well. And the thing is that it doesn't matter how the darkness, right? We take it with us. And
right,
so
right.
I had found recovery and sobriety. When I found this program, I realized there was still something missing. I still was in fear, right? I still had all of these limiting beliefs about myself. And when I took the course, I realized my life isn't over. And I realized that this program worked for me. If it can work for me, it can work for anyone.
Anyone.
Honestly, it can work
Right.
for anyone. And
Now
I
that's how
needed to
you
share
know.
it.
Yes, excuse, pardon me,
No, go
but I
ahead.
just had to elaborate a bit. That's how you know um, when you get that feeling inside your soul, your intuition about if this can work for me and all that I've been through, I know it can work for
Hmm.
anyone. And
Yeah.
I believe that a lot of us have that story that we feel, or that those experiences that we
Yes.
have been down so low, it seems like we can't even get out. We've been buried,
Hmm.
and I like to say this, and I've said it before: when you think you've been buried, you've only been planted,
Planted.
bro.
Yes.
So yes,
Absolutely. Planted.
yes. So
You've
go
been
ahead.
planted. The seed has been planted.
Right.
And so I got certified, and I started coaching, and I knew this was my purpose. I mean, I've always known that this was my purpose. I put myself, but the thing was that with this program, one of the core premises is that you're not broken. You're
Right.
not broken. It's your structure, right? It's your
Right. Right.
mindset. It's your perspective.
You're not
I think
broken. You're
you're
not
not
broken.
broken. No, and we spent so much time trying to heal ourselves, trying to
Right.
fix ourselves, fix, manage, and control ourselves, and resolve that wounded identity. And it really comes down to our identity that we have picked up and created across the way of our life. And we don't know how to break the habit.
Right.
We don't
Right.
know how to break the habit of that person that we created. I mean, if you know what, if we had amnesia today, if you had amnesia today and you didn't know where you woke up tomorrow and you didn't know who you were, who would you choose to be? Who would
Right.
you want to be? I mean, how freeing is that? Because we all think that our past determines our future, but our past is just our experiences. They're just experiences. And the thing is, like with my coaching, is that we go back and we actually redefine, redecide, and rewrite the story of our past. And you can
Right.
do that because our brain is plastic and our brain is amazing. And the thing is that we can really choose we can choose who we are today. It
Right.
doesn't have to be tied to the past. It doesn't have to be tied to who you were yesterday
Right.
at all. You can
Right.
choose. And you can choose. And the thing is that with my program that I offer through Christopher Duncan, that the training that I got also showed me it's that we come from
Right.
this problem orientation where we are motivated by problems. So we you watch commercials for 15 minutes and you realize I don't have the right car, I don't have the right woman, I don't have the right man, I don't have the
I don't
right
look right. My body
job, I
isn't
don't look
right.
right. And the
No,
thing
I
is
get
if
you.
I get this product, I will feel better,
Yeah,
right?
I'll be
And so
complete.
we're in this, I'll be complete and I'll be better and life will be better. So we are in this identity and we start and we move from this identity here that says over here is better. But you know what that says is that over here is worse. And so
Right.
this becomes a problem. So we are always tied to the problem.
Right.
And we're chasing this carrot of it's better when. Oh, when I lose weight, I'll be better. When I have this relationship, I'll be better. Life will be better. I'll feel good. But the truth is you can feel it now.
Right.
You can
You
feel
know,
it now.
and you said something amazing. I mean, everything that you said thus far, I resonate with, and it's absolutely amazing. Wow. But you said something that was just very like serendipitous to me. And I say this to people all the time. I won't say all the time, but a few acquaintances that I've been around that have been focused on, you know, hating someone. Okay,
Mm,
focus on negative things, and that's
hmm
one of the things that I would say to them. One of the examples I'd say, if you bumped your head and had amnesia, I said, let that stuff go. It's not happening anymore.
hmm
Oh, yes, it is. I said, so if you bumped your head today and forgot, then you would wake up and still be upset,
hmm
and focused on this person. You're
Right.
telling me that? Well, no. Okay, then. So it's only happening in your mind. You're
hmm
keeping it alive. You're keeping what happened
Exactly.
5, 10 years ago fresh in your mind. You're doing that. No one else is doing that. That person
It's the
has done
stories.
that already. And then from what you've told me, they've apologized to you, and you still are just every time you see them, you're repeating what they did 10 years ago.
Hmm
That's hurting you. And I
hmm
would tell them that, but when you said that, wow, a light went off, and I said,
hmm
I use that, you know.
Yeah, because you know our stories bring us comfort.
Right.
Our stories, our stories make us feel like we know how the world works.
Right.
We know how we fit into the world. That's our comfort zone. And the thing is that we have this comfort zone of
Right.
our that we stay in. And then we have
Right.
this ring around it that's the avoidance zone. All the things that we avoid feeling. Like all these things, like so you get a circle and there's your comfort zone. Here's the avoidance zone. Here's everything that you want to achieve outside of it. Because
Right.
that avoidance zone, you avoid everything that you don't want to re-experience, all the hurt. Your ego is trying to protect you. Your ego
Right.
is about
Ego.
survival. Your
Wow.
ego is about
That's
survival
key.
and your ego wants to survive and that it serves you. And that's the thing is that we try to make an enemy of the ego. And the truth is that our ego is our friend. It has served us. We need to make friends with our ego and understand it, know it, have it, integrate it. Because and when you do that in that moment of acceptance, this is the reality as is, then you can create. This is the reality as is. Acceptance is key. And then when you
Acceptance.
have this
Flow.
avoidance,
Right.
yeah, avoidance circle, you're basically like, let's say I want love. I want true love, but
Right.
I don't want to be rejected. I refuse to feel rejected. I refuse to feel abandoned. I refuse to not have it reciprocated, but I want to feel loved. All of our actions are about that avoidance of what we don't want to feel, what
Wow.
we don't want to have in our lives. That's our ego protecting us from the hurts from our past. But the thing is that we have a choice to focus, and where our focus goes, our energy flows.
Flows. Right.
Right. And that is what we create. Our mindset, we take in billions of like bits of information all the time.
All the time.
And we have an amazing brain that filters it out for us
Right.
based on what we think is important. So what you are focused on is what your brain thinks is important. If you're focused on the problems, you're going to see more problems, or you're going to
Prompts.
see things that reify and verify that problem, right?
Magnify whatever you're focused on is going to
Absolutely.
grow. It's going to
Absolutely.
intensify. You're going to draw
Absolutely. You
it.
put your focus on what you desire. And the thing is that people have stopped desiring. People have stopped dreaming, believing, achieve. And that's the thing I work with my clients. I was like, I want you to dream again. I want you to believe, and I want you to achieve. But the start is just allowing yourself to dream again,
Right.
right? Allowing yourself to think in possibilities, because all of a sudden that take place in your head. Oh, I can't do that. And we have all these wounds from childhood. I'm not good enough. I'm not significant. I'm not worthy. I am not perfect. I don't belong. And we have all of these beliefs. And the thing is that's the human experience. When
Right.
we go through the individuation process, is when we're real little, we experience our separateness. And when we experience our separateness, all of a sudden we don't have it all. Because in the womb, we have it all. We're
Right. Right.
pure. We have it all our needs are met. We come into this world, and part of being human is experiencing that separateness. I don't have it all,
Right.
right? So we go through that and we take it on to mean something about ourselves. And that becomes our beliefs, which becomes a part of our filter. And when all those bits of information are coming in, it goes through that filter. And we talk about rose-colored glasses. The thing is we all have colored glasses.
Right.
That's our mindset. And if you're focused on the problems, and it takes that to motivate, that's what you're going to see pop up in your mindset, because your brain works like that. But if you're focused on your desired result, and what we do in my program is we have a 5-step process. You make a true choice, and I'll explain this. Make a true choice. You get into the emotion of the end result. You have creative tension. You make creative tension. Tension is not bad. Tension is part of the universe, and it is actually what makes you magnetic to your goals. And then you unplug and recode, or do a process that we have many processes besides the recode. And then you take aligned action. And the aligned action is it's the thing that's missing from most of the healing modalities. There's a lot actually missing from the healing modalities. The healing modalities, a lot of them keep you trapped in, I will fix you. Come to me, I'll fix you. Come to me, I'll
Yes.
fix you.
So you're
And come to me.
always, and in hindsight,
In
you're
need
always, yeah. hmm You're
and
always
lack.
thinking that you're always thinking from a lack point of view,
And you
like
don't
I'm not.
have it.
And another thing I was going to say that we actually referenced earlier is that, oftentimes we are thinking, you know, that we're broken, and
Mm-hmm.
it's keeping us from moving forward or starting something, because we are always putting off, okay, after I do this and I get
Right.
here, or after I fix this, then I can move forward with this. I can't do
Then
that now.
you know
It's
it
like,
is. Then I'll deserve it.
then I'll deserve it. Yes,
Then
there
I'll
you go.
deserve it. And a lot of things is that I don't deserve it. So it comes back to I'm not worthy.
Right.
I'm not worthy. And these are the childhood wounds that we work on, because they go back to this. And it just doesn't matter how perfect your childhood was. You
Right.
always take on these meanings and these definitions for your experiences, which creates your beliefs.
Experience,
And
people
then
around
and
you,
then
upbringing. Yes.
and then what you end up doing is living this life on the beliefs of a 4-year-old, right? The beliefs of a 4-year-old. And the truth is that you can go back, like our minds are plastic, so you can go back and you can actually, they used to think that memories were permanent, like those permanent memories could not be altered. But science has proven that you can actually, there's a moment when you revisit a memory that you can reconsolidate that memory. So that means you can change it.
And tell,
That means you
make it
can go
into a
back
different
in your
story.
timeline and you can take on a different meaning. You can leave the trauma, you can leave the pain because the pain doesn't serve you anymore. And
No.
that's what a lot of us do is like we're having an argument with our spouse today. You know what? It probably has nothing to do with your spouse. It has everything to do with a boyfriend or your dad from an experience that you had when you were younger
Right. That you're
because
bringing it into now.
you
Right.
are reliving it now, you're triggered now, and there's so much that you can do. But as I was saying earlier, as far as the dreaming, is that we get into the focus of focusing on the feeling of our end result, because it's not about
Right.
the car, it's not about
Right.
the house, it's not even about the relationship. It's about what it does for you. How does it make you feel? And the truth is that if you can't feel abundant with $5 in your pocket, you're not going to feel abundant with $1 million in your pocket, because
Wow.
the abundance is a feeling. The
Is a feeling,
abundance,
is a
the
mindset.
a
Right.
mindset. The abundance is a mindset because truth is that you can feel that now. And a
No,
lot of people are so practiced in feeling bad emotions
I get what you're
that they don't
saying,
practice the other.
because again, you just triggered something that I had a discussion with someone. I can't remember, but I remember something came up like this, and bear with me.
It's okay.
He said that you can give all the poor people, you know,
Mm,
$1 million today, okay? And all the
mm,
rich people $1 million.
mm-hmm,
Or take away all the rich people's money.
mm,
In a year or two, all the poor people, they're not going to have that any money anymore. And the rich
mm-hmm,
people that you've taken everything from it, they're going to be rich again. And what does
mm-hmm.
that tell you? It's the mindset.
It's the
You
mindset.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because if you have
it's
a
the
poor
mindset.
mindset, right, you can be given a lot of money if you keep thinking in a poverty way. And I'm only saying this in monetary terms, but
Yeah.
it works for everything. If you have
No, it's lack.
if you
It's
work
a
for a
lack
lack mindset,
mentality.
you're going to go back to drawing back to lack. It doesn't matter what someone has just given you.
because what we do is we have this current reality, right, and we have this desired reality, and when we
Right,
go and move towards the desired reality, what happens is that we have this identity that is based on I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I have a lack mentality. And
right,
so when we move and start making movements towards that desired reality, which has an identity of I'm good enough, I'm worthy, because to have that desired reality, you have to think those things. Your ego thinks it's going to have to die, and your
right,
ego is built on survival. So
right,
it's a matter of shifting your identity and being able to shift your identity in a way that allows for that resistance to just be removed, right? Allows for those self-limiting beliefs to be dealt with and to be released, because you can't be the identity of someone who isn't worthy and lacks and also be the identity of this. So what we do is we self-sabotage, and we find ourselves in this oscillating pattern of going for it, coming back, going for it, coming back, going for it, coming back to our comfort zone. And the thing is that we can choose a different structure, and that's the creative structure, and that's with the 5 steps that I just told you. You can get into that, you can
right.
actually become that, you can assimilate it into your life. Like my life has totally changed. I mean, when I say to you, I say make a true choice. You know what I mean by that is that you're choosing something just simply because you love to create it, without the baggage, without the problem, not trying to fix, manage, or control a problem, but just simply because I love it. It's like, I would love this passionate, loving relationship, no conditions. It doesn't, you like not putting a condition on who it's with, right? Just act and getting into that feeling, because the feeling is everything. You become a magnet. You raise your energy to that feeling, and that feeling you get to be home. You create it as home. It becomes so natural to you that your brain thinks it's real. Your brain is accustomed to feeling that way. We practice feeling bad. We practice it. We are so good
Right,
at it.
right.
I can feel bad.
Like a
I can feel
default,
bad. I
like a
can,
default mechanism.
because it's easy,
It's
because it's
easy.
easy, right?
Right.
Because that's our default.
That's what
But the
you've
thing
known.
is that, right, but
That's
you
what you've
can
seen all
change.
around you.
Absolutely. But you can actually say, you know what, I'm going to play. What if I played? And if I played, And if I, like when we were kids, we had that awe and wonder. We had that awe, I'm going to be a rock star. And you know what we thought about? Oh, I'm going to get discovered on the streets. I'm going to do a YouTube. It was all these things without the judgment and just kind
Yeah.
of impossibilities. And when you get into the field, because my work is very intuitive,
Right.
and it's about touching into that intuition and about touching into that super conscious place, your higher self, right? We work on the subconscious and your subconscious does all the work, but the thing is that you are a being. You are more than what you think you are. You are more than the person that you have created with all of these experiences, because all of these experiences are conglomeration of just that,
Yes. Of who you think
just
you
that,
are or who
who
you
you
made
think you
yourself
are.
out to be.
And you can quit it. You can
Yes.
drop it
A bunch
like
of
a
stuff
hat.
that you've put together in a pot that no longer serves you,
No,
you
it
know?
doesn't serve you. What
That's
serves your
amazing.
happiness? But
Yes.
so for you, I just want to take a moment because there's a simple process I do with my clients. It's called anchoring,
Okay.
and it basically it's based on your trigger mechanism. You've been triggered. I've been triggered. We've all been
Oh,
triggered,
yes.
right?
Absolutely.
Right? And the way that triggers work is that there's this experience that you have that creates an emotional result, and it happens
Okay.
over and over and over again. So let's say, like for me,
Okay.
my
Yes.
my dad looks at me funny. My dad
Right.
my dad looks at
Right.
me in a certain way, and I
And then you
know a
feel a certain
spanking
way.
is
Yeah.
coming. I
Right.
know a spanking is coming. So some guy looks at me funny. Some guy looks at me, and all of a sudden I get triggered. And a lot of people, the thing is that we don't understand and we don't aren't aware of our own subconscious triggers, and
Triggers.
that's huge. So that look all of a sudden creates this internal response of anxiety, scared, fright, all those things. The
Right.
thing is we can hack that. We can hack it, and we can use that same process. So there's a scientist called Pavlov, and he worked with dogs, and he was studying the salivary glands of dogs. I think he wasn't even studying this. And so what he would do is he would ring a bell and then feed the dogs, put the food out eventually, and he would do that over and over and over again. So there was this stimulus, a ringing of the bell, and they would get their food. And then what happened was that he would ring the bell and their salivary glands started going. So
Wow.
that outward stimulus created an internal response, and it does the same. That's what triggering means.
Means.
we
Right.
have we have that's basically the triggering. So what happens is that we can actually trigger ourselves in a good way for good emotions. So I could actually what we could do is an anchoring process, and you could like grab your wrist. A lot of times we use the knuckles, but I think grabbing the wrist or going like this is something. But the thing is that you want to do something that actually you can do in public
Right.
without being like, so I'll grab my wrist like that.
Right.
And what we do is that we create, either you bring up a memory of something that you want to replicate, the emotion of something you replicate. Let's
Right.
say
Right.
you want, or you get into the desired result. Once you've been in the work, you can get into your desired result and really paint that picture and get into the emotion. So let's say you want to anchor in the feeling of inspired
Okay.
or motivated or happy or joy. And what we do is that you would basically, what I would do, and I'm going to do it with you for, it only takes a couple minutes, is
Okay.
that you close your eyes and take a breath and just be in your body. And what I want you to do now is I want you to think of a memory that was joyous and happy. And I want you to really be there. I want you to step into it. I want you to step into that memory and be there. I want you to notice the scenes, the colors, the smells, the people, the noises, anything you can hear, taste, touch, smell. And I want you to feel that joy again right now. I want you to be there in that memory and just let it grow. And I want you to go ahead and put your anchor on, touch your wrist, hold your wrist, and keep your eyes closed. And I want you to grow that feeling of happiness, of bliss, of connection, of joy. And imagine you have a dial and you can turn that feeling up, and it can just spread through every inch of your body, like you're growing, like a star is shining through you. And that feeling is just it's going into the room around you. It's so big. And I want you to dial it up to a 3, to a 4 and 5. Just imagine you can feel that feeling. Feel the chemicals that are coming from your brain that are so good, just releasing in your body. How good that feels. It feels like your truth, your essence. It's just happiness. And dial it all the way up. Dial it as high as you can dial it, all the way up to 10. And I want you to be there in that moment. How you stand, how you're talking, how you're feeling, connecting. And I want you to take a nice deep breath in. I want you to release your anchor, let it go, and then come back to me. Were you able to touch on a memory?
Yep.
Yeah. Were
Yeah.
you able to feel
Yeah.
what you felt?
I did.
Absolutely, because your brain
Absolutely. I
doesn't know
did.
any different. Do you know
No, I
your
did.
brain
I
doesn't
was
know any different?
picturing, yeah. I don't want to say
You're
exactly, but
re-experiencing.
yeah, I was
You're
picturing,
re-experiencing it. Your brain is
yeah.
re-experiencing it as though, and it lights up. Your brain lights up as though it's happening right now. That's the thing. So what fires together wires together. So the more you fire that up, the more those are going to be your superconscious
So
freeways in your
how
mind.
often would you suggest doing something like that?
Wait, I wanted, hold on a second. I want you to
Okay.
grab your anchor, close
Okay.
your eyes, and I want you to see if you feel it. We're going to test it. How does it feel? Does it come to you?
It comes to me now because
Okay.
yeah, I affiliated with what you already told me. So
Yeah.
now when I do this, that's what I'm thinking about.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And you can do that. And it's a simple, simple, simple thing to emotional mastery is that, you build this. So you could do that every day. You could do it it takes 2 minutes a day. Build it so that
No,
it's
I get
so
it.
strong. So it's so strong, right? It's a trigger. So you create a trigger for yourself. I grab my arm, I feel good. So then there are these moments that you're not feeling so hot. Maybe you're just feeling
So
unmotivated or
now
you're
that
not
comes
feeling,
into play.
and then what you do is you grab your anchor and you let the feeling come.
And see, the amazing part about it, and I'm pretty sure you've thought about this, but or maybe you haven't, but for me, I've never I've worked with people, but I've never had
Hmm.
anyone do that particular thing. So I don't have
Yeah.
anything in my mind
Hmm.
contradicting it or trying to fight for
Hmm.
space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, last time someone told you to grab your wrist, they told you to think of it. So
Yeah.
now this is the first
No,
time I've
and the
ever been
thing is, though,
told.
is that you can actually build it. You can actually build it like maybe tomorrow. You think I just want to feel inspired, build it,
And then I'm going to
and
think about that same
it's
memory
all
that I
good.
just recalled. That was
Yes.
actually a very great memory. I was a lot younger,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
it was a great
You know,
memory.
but the thing is that that you're basically using the mechanism that you already have,
Right.
a mechanism that your brain already uses, and we're hacking it to work for us rather
Wow.
than against us.
Well, thank you. Yes.
You're
Yes.
welcome. You're
That is
welcome. I'm going to keep
amazing
in touch with you so that I can see how
how
that
that's
anchor is
going.
working.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even if I get a message from you as a reminder, if you just put the word anchor, then I'm going to know, uh-oh, I need to,
Yeah.
I need to keep doing
Build
that
it because
and
you
make
can
sure that,
create it. I mean, because you think about what it took to create the triggers in you.
right,
It took a high emotion,
right,
right? It took a repeated event.
right,
So
right,
when you
right.
when you take those things into consideration, you can control your emotions.
Wow, that's amazing. Absolutely
And
amazing.
that's just a very basic process.
That's just the
So,
start. That's
yes,
just the little grain of sand of what you can do and
it's
help people
possible.
with. And that's amazing that
Thank you.
um and I appreciate you too for just sharing. And I know you didn't share your entire life story, but just digging,
Mhm.
a little bit into, some troubled waters until you get to the,
Absolutely.
you know,
They are my
it's just
assets.
amazing.
They are the things that allow me to reach other people. I
Right.
am grateful for everything that happened. And in fact, I take
Wow.
responsibility in some way for everything that happened to me because it is not what happened to me. It's my responsibility to heal myself.
Right.
But it is also what happened to me isn't so much the important part. It's how I took it on to mean something about me. That's my role. So I go through the abuse, go through the rape, and things like
Right.
that. Take on the meaning that I am a victim. Take on the meaning that I deserve this, right?
Yes.
That's my role. When you take accountability and over everything you created in your life, because in some way you created it by taking it on,
Wow.
then you can, the thing is if you created it, you can change it.
Yeah.
So by
See,
taking accountability and responsibility for your life, it's taking your power back.
and that right there is it. That's the point, because oftentimes, and I've been there too at one point, but not now. But I see people, they don't understand that they're making themselves stuck by continuing
Stuck in victim.
to be in denial as to
Hmm.
when you bring up something like, oh, this was all I had to go through. It's like, no, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you're going to stay stuck if you don't
Hmm.
accept it and just
Yeah,
understand. And I read that reminds me also of a quote that I read the other day. And it says, you, if, uh-oh, where'd you go? Oh, there
I'm
you go.
here.
It said something like, you can't love who you are, or something like that. If you love who you are today, you can't love yourself and
You
hate
can't hate your experiences and love who you
experiences.
are
Yeah, you know where
today.
I'm trying to
Something like
find,
that.
where I'm trying to get.
I
Yeah,
know what you're saying.
hating your
Yeah. Yeah.
experiences that
You have
shape
to
you.
stop hating the experience that
Yeah,
shaped you into
yeah.
who you
Stop
are
hating the
today.
experiences that shape you, because they contribute to who the building up of who you are, who you're becoming.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The becoming.
Yep. And
And
we're all becoming.
right, right. And if you can get out of victim mode and, you
Hmm.
know, change your perspective and work with people like you that can help rewire and change those perspectives, you'll realize that, those hurts, those adversities are actually assets to you,
Yes.
in building
Absolutely.
up your strong character and having some contrast,
Hmm.
because
The
if
contrast is
all we saw
everything.
was light, then you know, we wouldn't appreciate the darkness. If all we saw was
Absolutely.
darkness, we wouldn't appreciate light. If all we
Hmm.
heard was loud, silence, we have to hear noise to appreciate silence,
It's a
so
duality.
it's a duality. So that's amazing.
Our sadness deepens our joy.
Our joy, right? Because of, yeah, right.
Hmm.
Well, that's why. So that's absolutely amazing. So what I wanted
Thank
to
you.
ask you is, I have um your links, but while you're here, how can
Hmm.
people find you?
I'm
At
at my site is at charitygolden.com, and I actually have a workshop, a 7-day
CharityGolden.com.
workshop, yes,
Okay.
that
Okay.
you can get for $47.
Okay.
And for all of your listeners, I'm offering a discounted one-to-one session for $99, where
Okay.
they can have me for an hour and we can do a deep dive session. But you can reach my YouTube through the charitygolden.com. I'm also on Facebook. You can just Google me at Charity Golden. You'll find me, and I have a page. So I just talk to me. I welcome
Yes.
all the conversation, and
And
I love to serve.
yes, that's amazing. And as a reminder to everyone, look in the description of this video and read the wonderful story and bio of Charity, and all the links that she just mentioned are there. So
Mm,
you'll just be able to just click right on her website, and it'll take you
thank you.
right to it the way I'll set it up.
Thank you.
And all her social media sites that she shared with me to incorporate into the description of the video. So that's amazing, and I encourage anyone out there who this reaches to reach out to Charity and get some clarity. Allow her
Yes.
experiences and her expertise that she has spent a lot of time and money and everything, and life experiences to get to where she is. Allow that to help you where you are. So that's amazing. Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much
Yes.
for having me here today. It
Yes.
was absolutely wonderful.
Everything unfolded perfectly. So
Yes. Thank you.
yes, everything. So I appreciate it so much. And I just, like I said before, I love just talking to people because, especially, someone like you, because it's like mental spiritual and mental and emotional exercise, like in a good way, like, talking
It's
about
soul
uplifting
food.
things.
It's
Yeah.
soul
Talking
food.
about uplifting things and
Yes.
and how to, resolutions based
Yes.
conversation and
Yes.
like that. It's just healthy, and you can just
Yeah.
tell the way you feel. It's not draining. It's not listening to the news and who did what, who killed who did
Mm-mm.
this, who take this away, what government is attacking. It's not that. That's a different feeling
Mm-mm.
you get than
Yeah.
when you talk about something that's actually nurturing
It's
to your
good
soul.
stuff.
And
Yes.
yes, and piques your
Yes.
curiosity and listen
And
to.
and and I just want to thank you because I said it earlier, but I want to thank you for having the space for people to grow, to to be in the love, to be in the love of life, to be in the inspiration. I mean, it's, thank you because you've created this space and thank you for having me.
Wow, that gratitude is well received, and I appreciate it. And you're welcome. You're very
Mm.
welcome. And thank you. I am just so thankful that I'm where I am. And
Mhm.
like you, this show isn't about me, but like you, I went through a lot of
Yeah.
similar dysfunctions and things that it doesn't reflect. I mean, well, it doesn't reflect who I am now. I mean, it helped to
Doesn't
build up.
define who you
Yeah, it
are
doesn't
now.
define who I am now. There you go.
Absolutely.
Thank you. But yeah, I had to go through those things, and a
Mhm.
lot of them was self-sabotaging, thoughts and actions, and did it to
Mhm.
myself, So hey, here I
Evolution and
am.
transcendence.
Here I am. Yes. And
Yes.
and the good thing is why I really resonate with you is that we don't try to hide those things or pretend like that we've
Mm-mm.
always been in at this point in our life. Nope,
Mm-mm.
not at all.
Nope.
Not at all. I'm still
See my
learning and
process.
yeah,
See my
I'm
process.
still going through a process.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
as of now, I still, yeah, am. So, and
Yeah.
like you said, we're always growing, and you always want to accept that we're always growing. Don't get
We
to a
are.
point that you feel like you can't grow anymore, or don't. You want that excitement of learning more, just like the excitement of
Mhm.
talking to people. I don't think, oh, I've heard it all, so whatever. No,
Yeah.
I want to hear this person's perspective. Maybe it's similar to somebody else's story, but everybody has their own spin, their own perspectives,
Yeah.
their own unique character.
Voice.
Yeah, their own unique voice, their own unique
Mhm.
energy. So I want to learn.
Absolutely.
I want to know. So
That's
thank you
beautiful.
very much. And
Thank you.
again, appreciate everybody here watching. And send you love and appreciation here on Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. I'll see you soon.